Abed Wadi was getting dressed for the funeral when the message arrived. It was an image forwarded to him by a friend of a group of masked men posing with axes, a petrol canister and a chainsaw, with text printed on the image in Hebrew and Arabic: "To all the rats in the sewers of Qusra village, we are waiting for you and we will not mourn you." The text said, "The day of revenge is coming." Qusra is Wadi's village in the northern part of the West Bank near Nablus. The funeral that day was for 4 Palestinians from the village. 3 had been killed the previous day, Wednesday, the 11th of October, after Israeli settlers entered Qusra and attacked a Palestinian family home. The 4th was shot dead in clashes with Israeli soldiers that followed. The following day, the Qusra villagers were preparing to set out for a hospital half an hour away and return with the bodies of the dead. To do so, they would need to travel across land that is dotted with Israeli settlements, where the risk of violence, high even in ordinary times, has risen dramatically in the 2 weeks since Israel went to war with Hamas. Wadi put his phone down and continued getting dressed. There were 4 men in refrigerators in the hospital who needed to be brought home. He was not going to be deterred by a threat. He said he had heard too many. There was no way for Wadi to know that in a few hours' time, hardline Israeli settlers would confront the funeral procession and his own brother and young nephew would be shot dead. If we had delayed 1 or even 2 days, what good would it have done? Wadi said, sitting in the shaded courtyard of his family home in Qusra. Do you think that the settlers would have left this place on the second day? According to the UN's humanitarian office, the week that followed Hamas's murderous attack was the deadliest for Palestinians in the West Bank since it began reporting fatalities in 2005, with at least 75 Palestinians killed by the Israeli military or settlers, and incidents of settler violence up from an average of 3 a day to 8 in one raid on a Palestinian refugee camp and a rare airstrike in the region on Thursday. 12th, Israeli forces killed at least 12 people, Palestinian officials said, and Israeli police said 1 officer was killed. There was a real risk of the occupied territory spiraling out of control, the UN said this week. Palestinian residents of the West Bank say that while the world's attention is drawn to the unfolding disaster in Gaza, Israeli settlers are taking advantage by entering villages and expelling and even killing Palestinian civilians in at least 3 cases, according to video footage or eyewitness testimony from villages. The settlers have been wearing military uniforms, are accompanied by the Israeli military in their attacks. The first 3 men who died in Qusra had gone to defend a family in a house on the outskirts of the village after settlers approached the house and began throwing rocks at it. Several residents told the BBC they say the settlers then opened fire at the Palestinian neighbors who came to assist, killing